number of times, and I understand that you've got a personal relationship with Meghan Markle, or had one, and she cut you off. She's entitled to cut you off if she wants to. Has she said anything about you since she cut you off? I don't think she has, but yet you continue to trash her.
Okay, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
So, do you know what? That's
you can track him, maybe, not mine.
No.
See you later.
I'm being...
Sorry, can't do this.
Absolute.
Greetings, Celebrity Scoop enthusiasts. Today, we're shining the spotlight on a moment that shook the world of morning television back in March 2021. We're talking about the dramatic incident on Good Morning Britain, where Piers Morgan's commentary on Meghan Markle sparked a firestorm. This saga took unexpected turns, from Meghan's candid revelations to a live on-air confrontation, ending with a walkout that left viewers and participants stunned. So, let's dive right into the drama, shall we? On the 7th of March 2021, Meghan Markle sat down with Oprah Winfrey and shared her experience within the royal family. It was a conversation that reverberated across the globe, not just for the high-profile personalities involved, but for the deeply personal and revealing nature of the discussion. Meghan, in a candid conversation, peeled back the layers of her life as a royal, her struggles, her triumphs, and her disappointments. One of the most poignant aspects of the interview was Meghan's openness about her mental health struggles. She bravely revealed a side of her life that many didn't know, a side that was shrouded in darkness and despair. Meghan spoke about how her life within the royal confines drove her to a point where she didn't want to live anymore, a shocking revelation that tugged at the heartstrings of many around the world. She was a woman who seemingly had it all, but in reality was battling a silent war within herself. The interview also touched upon the issue of racism. Meghan's experience was a bitter reminder that prejudice knows no boundaries, not even within the hallowed halls of royal palaces. She spoke about how her son, Archie, had been the subject of racially charged comments even before his birth. It was a stark revelation that led many to question the very foundations of the institution she was part of. Meghan's revelations were not just about herself, but also about the systemic issues that persist in society. She put a spotlight on the importance of mental health and the need for understanding and empathy. She also underscored the insidious nature of racism, even in places where it's least expected. These revelations stirred up quite a storm, and Piers Morgan was one of the people who had something to say. The former Good Morning Britain host's reaction to Meghan's interview was a turning point that would eventually lead to his departure from the show. But we'll delve into that in the next scene. For now, let's take a moment to acknowledge the courage it took for Meghan to share her story with the world. Piers Morgan, the then co-host of Good Morning Britain, did not hold back his opinion on Meghan's interview. The typically outspoken Morgan was quick to voice his scepticism, and his comments were anything but subtle. Known for his often controversial takes on the most pertinent issues, Piers didn't hesitate to question Meghan's revelations. He expressed doubts about the veracity of Meghan's claims, particularly those concerning her mental health struggles and experiences with racism. His audacious commentary, however, was seen as dismissive and insensitive by many viewers. His harsh words quickly spread beyond the walls of the television studio, seeping into the internet and sparking a social media frenzy. People from all walks of life chimed in, many expressing their outrage and disappointment at Piers' lack of empathy and understanding. It wasn't just Meghan's fans who were upset, but also advocates for mental health and those standing against racial discrimination. The public outcry was immense. Online platforms were inundated with comments condemning Piers' dismissive stance and his perceived lack of sensitivity towards the issues Meghan had bravely brought to light. Celebrities, mental health advocates, and everyday viewers alike took to social media to voice their discontent. The backlash was a testament to the power of public opinion, proving that even a seasoned journalist like Piers wasn't immune to the consequences of his words. However, Piers wasn't one to back down easily. Despite the backlash, he continued to defend his stance, asserting his right to question Meghan's narrative. He remained steadfast in his skepticism, refusing to retract his comments or apologise for his actions. But as we all know, actions have consequences, and Piers was about to face his. The tension that had been simmering beneath the surface was about to boil over, leading to a confrontation that would forever change the landscape of Good Morning Britain. This didn't go unnoticed, and soon Piers was confronted live on air. This marked the beginning of a series of events that would end with Piers Morgan's departure from the show, a dramatic turn of events that left the nation in shock. On the 9th of March, weather presenter Alex Beresford addressed Piers Morgan directly. It was a moment that seemed to encapsulate the tension that had been brewing on the set of Good Morning Britain. Alex, known for his calm demeanour and usually sticking to the weather, decided to step into the storm that day. With a measured tone, he began to dissect Piers' harsh criticisms of Meghan Markle. He suggested that Piers' open questioning of Meghan's mental health struggles and experiences with racism was more than just professional scepticism. Alex dared to tread where others had not. He questioned whether Piers' attitude towards Meghan was driven by a personal grudge. Now, it's no secret that Piers and Meghan had a personal relationship in the past. They were friends until, according to Piers, Meghan cut him off without explanation. Alex brought this up during the live broadcast, saying, "I understand that you don't like Meghan Markle. You've made it so clear a number of times on this programme. And I understand that you've got a personal relationship with Meghan Markle, or had one, and she cut you off." He continued, "She's entitled to cut you off if she wants to." A simple statement, but it rang loud and clear. It was a reminder that Meghan, like all of us, has the right to choose who she allows into her life. It was also a challenge to Piers, a call to examine whether his criticism of Meghan was truly unbiased journalism or fueled by personal resentment. Alex's confrontation was a live television moment that no one expected, but it was one that needed to happen. It was a call for empathy, for understanding, and most importantly, for respect. It was a reminder that celebrities, royal or not, are human beings first. This confrontation was too much for Piers, and what happened next shocked viewers. Stay tuned as we delve into the walkout that made headlines and the aftermath that followed. Unable to handle the criticism, Piers Morgan decided to take drastic action. It was a moment that would be seared into the annals of live television history. Piers Morgan, the controversial co-host of Good Morning Britain, suddenly found himself at the centre of a maelstrom he himself had helped to create. With a curt, "Okay, I'm done with this," Piers abruptly left the set, leaving his co-hosts and millions of viewers in a state of shock. He had been confronted, called out on his relentless criticism of Meghan Markle. It was a confrontation that he seemingly could not bear. His co-hosts were left to pick up the pieces of the live broadcast. Alex Beresford, the one who had sparked the walkout, looked visibly surprised. His face was a mirror reflecting the astonishment of viewers at home. The studio, usually filled with banter and lively discussion, was suddenly wrapped in an uncomfortable silence. The public reaction was immediate and intense. Social media platforms were ablaze with comments and opinions. Some were in support of Piers, viewing his walkout as a stance against cancel culture. Others saw it as a petulant response to being held accountable for his words. The debate raged on, with voices from all over the world chiming in, turning this walkout into a global conversation on the power and responsibility of the media. In the midst of this media storm, Piers' walkout also sparked an internal review at ITV. The network was in an unenviable position, caught between a controversial host and a public outcry. The tension was palpable as viewers waited to see what action ITV would take. Later that day, the verdict was in. ITV confirmed that Piers Morgan would no longer be part of Good Morning Britain. It was a decision that sent shockwaves across the television landscape. Piers' walkout, initially seen as an act of defiance, had become his exit from a show he had been a part of for 6 years. This moment marked the end of Piers' time on Good Morning Britain. But it was more than just a personal career shift. It was a moment that forced a reckoning on the influence of media personalities and the consequences of their words. The repercussions of the walkout were swift and decisive. Later that day, ITV confirmed that Piers Morgan, a figure who had become synonymous with Good Morning Britain's morning chatter, would be leaving the programme. The announcement came like a thunderclap, a sudden end to the storm that had been brewing. The public's reaction to the news was a mixed bag. While some expressed relief, saying that Piers' departure was long overdue, others mourned the loss of a strong, if controversial, voice from the show. Social media platforms buzzed with this news, a hive of opinions and hot takes, reflecting the polarising nature of Piers himself. Many praised Alex Beresford for speaking up, with hashtags like #TeamAlex trending on Twitter. The weather presenter's confrontation with Piers resonated with viewers, who saw in his actions a stand against the dismissal of mental health struggles and the perpetuation of harmful narratives. On the flip side, Piers' exit sparked discussions about the importance of free speech and the fear of being cancelled for expressing unpopular opinions. Some argued that Piers had the right to voice his scepticism, while others felt his departure was a necessary consequence of his actions. And so, a dramatic chapter in Good Morning Britain's history came to a close. The echoes of this incident, however, continue to reverberate, prompting conversations about the role of media, the power of celebrity, and the importance of empathy in public discourse.